Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं. ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः. Hari Om. We are seeing this text called Nirdvandva Sukham, or joy free from all dualities. Meaning there is no joy and something else. There is just joy. There is no duality in that experience of joy. And it can happen through three means. It is through Karma Yoga, it is through Bhakti Yoga, and it is through Jnana Yoga. Through the body, our body consciousness, we lose our single pointedness because of the identification with the work we do and identification with the results of the actions. So what is identification basically? Identification means giving special meaning to something. Basically taking up something, taking on something, taking up something, giving a special importance to something is identification. When we do that, when we identify ourselves, instead of identifying ourselves as a person, as an individual, as a consciousness, if we identify ourselves as a doer of the action, then there is an individual consciousness which is the reality, and doer of the action, which is the duality. So as long as this duality is existing, the mind is pulled by that dual thought, and the mind loses its balance, and it leads to more and more disturbance. So how to maintain this unity of mind while doing work? Kartavyam sangarahitam. Engage in work. Not staying idle. Staying idle also breeds duality. Staying idle also breeds multiplicity of thoughts, basically. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. When we remain idle, the world starts working upon our mind. If we are active and engaged and we are doing something, we have some control over our surroundings. It is like leaving a house or a building for a long time unoccupied. Anything can happen inside that building. By nature, it gets destroyed by itself. Kartavyam. So, this body is also a building. We should do action in this body. How should we do? Sangarahitam. Without attachment to the thought that I am the doer and the feeling that I am the enjoyer or the sufferer, and without attachment to the results of action, particular results of action. Aragadveshataha kritam. The work should be done free of attachment to desire. I don't do the work because I desire to do it. I do the work because it needs to be done. Ishvara arpana bhavena. The work should be done as an offering to Ishvara. Ragadibhyo vimochayed. Then free the mind of all desires, like, dislike, hate, and love, and all those things. The dualities. Freed from the mind when we do the work. This like and dislike and desires pertain to the work that we do. 18th verse. Isha jatam jagat sarvam vashe tasyaiva vartate kasya kincha katham tarhi tyajen moham vivekatah. To whom kasya kincha does anything belong? Katham tarhi, in that case, tyajen moham vivekatah. Ishat jatam jagat sarvam. This whole universe is born from Isha. Isha means the Lord, the supreme prana, the Mahaprana that holds all objects together, that holds all individual beings together. Independently also it holds them. Together also that Isha or that prana binds us as a society, as a community. There is a power, there is a force that binds us all together, all the countries. There is a force that is keeping this earth together. There is a force that keeping all the waters together. That is a force that keeps the mountain standing in its place. When that force is disturbed, there is danger in this earth. Like how we are experiencing in Japan right now with this very high magnitude earthquake and a warning of a tsunami. Isha jatam jagat sarvam. This whole universe is born out of that force, out of that prana. And whatever is happening also is vashe tasyaiva vartate. Whatever is happening right now around the world is also under the control of this power only. Kasya kincha katham tarhi tyajet. So, kincha, to whom does anything belong then? Nothing belongs to anybody in particular. Nothing belongs to any country in particular. We are all living at this mercy of this power. We are all living at this mercy of this force. In many religions, they give this power a name and call it God. Kasya, and everything belongs to God. Everything is being run by God. Everything is created by God. Everything is maintained by God. And everything is dissolved by God. Tyajen moham vivekataha. With the right discrimination, give up this ignorance or delusion that something belongs to me, something doesn't belong to me. It is an illusion that creates this difference in our mind. Money does not belong only to the rich people. Money belongs to God, and that money is being apportioned in many ways to many people. Some people may have 1 rupee, some people may have 10 crores of rupees. It doesn't matter. It is just that the prana or Ishvara is apportioning the money according to that individual's capacity, according to that individual's real needs, and according to that individual's contributions to society, and according to that individual's thought patterns, according to that individual's beliefs, according to that individual's past actions. Everything, whether it is money or whether it is power, whether it is fame, whether it is love, whether it is harmony, everything is a different manifestation of this power only. Tyajen moham vivekataha. So applying the right discrimination of what is mine and what is not mine. There is nothing like what is mine and what is not mine. Everything belongs to the whole. Everything belongs to the community. Nothing to me individually. Whatever is there with me, I am only a trustee. I am only a caretaker of all the funds. I am a caretaker of all the land. I am a caretaker of my building. I am a caretaker of my premises. I am a caretaker of the people around me. I am a caretaker of the fame that I have. I am a caretaker of the good name that I have. A caretaker takes care, and that is only our job. If we have this right understanding, we will not be caught in any other dualities related to our actions and the results of the actions. Now, how to get over the duality related to Ishvara by devotion, which is Bhakti Yoga. Ishvare paraya bhaktya dvandvatitam bhaven manaha tadeva sadhyatam nityam smarannisham gurum sada. So the mind entertains dualities. The mind has got dualities of likes and dislikes, joy and sorrow, good and bad. These are all the thoughts, the dual thoughts that exist in the mind. How to transcend these dual thoughts? Ishvare paraya bhaktya, by supreme devotion to Ishvara. Dvandva atitam bhaven manaha. I transcend duality, which means I enter into that zone of oneness. I enter into that zone of realization. I enter into that zone of who I am in reality. By transcending duality, I stay in reality through the means of supreme devotion to Ishvara. So, what is supreme devotion to Ishvara? Not demanding that if I love God, God gives me something in return. If I love God, God prevents all problems in this world coming to me, or prevents problematic people in my life. If I love God, God gives me what I likes. These are all conditional devotion. Unconditional devotion is I just give love. I don't have anything else. I just give love. Dvandvatitam bhavet manaha. Tadeva sadhyatam nityam. That is the only thing that we need to do every day. Tadeva sadhyatam nityam smarannisham gurum sada. Remembering Guru, remembering Ishvara, we live our lives on this January 1st of 2024. This is a very beautiful message that we can get. How to live our life. We live our life by remembering God, by remembering Guru. Why remembering? When we remember something, we pay attention to it. When we constantly remember it, when we constantly pay attention, that attention becomes love, because the mind gravitates towards something we love. When we pay attention to Ishvara, when we pay attention to that supreme power, the mind gravitates towards it, the mind rests in that supreme power, and then there is no duality. There is no difficulty for the mind. So, Smaran Isham. Isha is Ishvara, the power that resides within. Guru is that same power that resides without. We consider a person as Guru who guides us to that power within. So, whether we look into that Guru or look into Ishvara within, the same thing happens. Even when we look to the Guru without, the Guru points towards our within where Ishvara resides. So the Guru is not taking us in any other direction. He does not want anything from us and deviate our path in life. The Guru points us towards Ishvara. So whether it is Ishvara within or the Guru without, Smaren Isham, Smaran Isham, Nityam Sadhya Tadeva Sadhyatam. That is the only achievement we need to make in life. What is the only achievement we need to make? Is to remember Ishvara and remember Guru. Ishvare paraya bhaktya. Have supreme devotion to Ishvara. Mean, let that devotion be one of unconditional love, where there is no other demand or there is no other complaint. The next verse, 20th verse, it goes to Jnana Yoga. So we saw Karma Yoga. In the previous verse, we saw about Bhakti Yoga. Now we are going to see through the path of Jnana Yoga how we transcend dualities. Transcending dualities is the key. Whether we are doing it through Karma Yoga, it depends on in which state of our being, which aspect of our being we are more tuned into. If we are tuned into the body so much, then we will have to work out with Karma Yoga. If we are tuned into our likes and dislikes in the mind, then the path is Bhakti Yoga. If we are tuned into our thoughts, then the path is Jnana Yoga. Vedante katitaf margo Vedante katitah margah Nirdvandva sthiti praptaye jnana yoga iti khyatah tattvavan tattvan veshana tatparah. Vedante, in Vedanta, Vedanta means the end of knowledge. End of knowledge is knowing the knower. That is Vedanta. Katitaha margaha. The path has been prescribed in Vedanta. In Vedanta, for what? Nirdvandva sthiti praptaye. To attain that state of Nirdvandva or non-dual presence. Nirdvandva means free from duality. Sthiti is the state of mind. Praptaye. This Nirdvandva is a state of mind. It's a sthiti. Through Jnana Yoga, through the yoga of knowledge or thought, Khyataha, it is called, what is it? Tattva Anveshana Tatparaha. Such a person who is taking up the path of Jnana Yoga always thinks about Tattva Anveshanam. He always is meditating on the truth, on the reality. Tattva Anveshana Tatparaha. How do we go? What is the process for that? Dvandvam bhati manas sattve talline naiva drishyate ato dvandvam mano dharmaha chidanandasya natmanaha. Dvandvam bhati manaha sattve. When do we see duality? We see duality when the mind is alive. When the mind is alert, when the mind is awake, we see duality. In night, the mind goes to sleep. That means the knowing, the thought of I am is not the thought of I am. The thought of I am is not reflecting on any other thought during the sleep state. The mind goes to sleep. So the thought of I am is just reflecting that sleeping mind. So it is a no thought mind. Because the reflection is falling on no thought, we are not experiencing anything in the sleep time. We don't experience any highs and lows. We don't experience any ebb and flow in life. We don't experience joys and sorrows. We don't experience about ourselves. Any dual thoughts or multiple thoughts we don't experience because the mind has gone to sleep. So the only experience we have is the time when we are awake and we are dropping off to sleep. Then once we lie down and are asleep, the next experience we have, when you leave out the dreams, the next experiences we have when we are shaken to waking up in the morning and we realize that we have woken up from sleep. So that is the second experience. The first experience is dropping off to sleep, and the second experience is waking up. In between, we don't record the time because there is no duality. Only when there is duality, we will recognize time. When there is no duality, there's nothing to mark time. Only when we wake up, we say, okay, I went to sleep at 10 o'clock in the night, and now it is 6 a.m. in the morning when I have woken up. So when there is mind, only there is duality. When there is no mind, we don't experience duality. Ato dvandvam mano dharmaha tada anandasya na atmanaha. So dvandva is mano dharmaha chidanandasya na atmanaha chidanandasya na dvandva. Mano dharmaha. This duality is the nature of the mind. Only when the mind is there, we experience duality. This duality is not there in Atman, which is Chit or consciousness, the one that casts its awareness on everything, that casts its light on everything. That is Chaitanya. And Ananda, the one That is the cause for all bliss. That is the Atman, the self, the I. The Atman or the I is identity. Identity means a conglomerated power which we put into anything, our full power, our energy, which we give into any work, which we give into any emotion, any relationship, which we give into any experience. That power is there. When we are identified with that only, we experience only joy. There is no sorrow. There is no dvandva. So, duality is experienced only in the mind. Duality is not there in the Atman or I or the identity, the feeling of I. It is not there. The I is of the nature of consciousness and the I is of the nature of bliss. The I is of the nature of existence. Every object is. That isness is I. In this, there is no duality. You say the objects may appear different. This is a book. This is a water bottle. This is a fruit. Everything is. The isness is the same, but the name and form of all this are different. So there is no difference in the self, in consciousness, in I. The differences exist only in the mind. So what should we do? We should just realize that we need to transcend the mind. How do we do it? The 23rd verse. Satyatma sarvada muktaha. Sorry, the 22nd verse. How do we do it? Drishyam sarvam jadam mithya drashtatma kevalo dhruvaha dvandvam manomaya bhasam paratma tasya bhasakaham. Drishyam sarvam jadam mithya drashta atma kevalaha dhruvaha. There is only one thing that is certain in this world. That is the drashta or the seer. The seer is real. The seer is steady. The seer is firm. Everything else is drishyam. Drishyam is not just temporary. It is illusory, means it is temporary. It does not have a permanent existence. And it is also jadam. It is also inert. Any thought that we see, any emotion that we experience, any sense object that we perceive in our mind, or the objects outside the body, the physical body itself, everything is jadam and everything is mithya. Mithya means it has only a temporary role to play in this existence, and jadam means it is inert. Drishyam sarvam. Everything that we see is jadam. It is inert and it is also mithya. It is only temporary. Even the biggest of mountains, even the largest of rivers are only temporary in the field of existence. In the span of the lifetime of this universe, everything is only temporary. Mithya. Drashta, the seer, the self, the I, kevalo dhruvaha. Drashta is dhruva. It is very firm. Dvandvam manomaya abhasam. Duality is only a reflection of the mind. Duality is present only in the mind. Abhasam means it is reflected or it appears only in the mind. Paratma tasya bhasakaha. Who is illumining this duality? Paratma, the Supreme Self, is the one that illumines this duality. So this is a key verse for Jnana Yoga. For Karma Yoga, we saw doing all work without attachment, engaging in action, doing action without attachment to the identity as a doer and the enjoyer of the results. That is Karma Yoga. And offering it as Ishvara Arpana, doing the work not for myself, but for the society, for the world, for the sake of others, for the sake of Bhagavan, Ishvara. For that purpose, doing work. For means why? It is just that the importance is not placed here. The importance is placed somewhere else. So we can always be free. When we start placing importance to where we are, to the place where we are in, and for our sake, then the load becomes heavy for us to carry. So that is the idea behind Karma Yoga. You just spread out your love, you spread out your capacity to work, you spread out your joy, you spread out your goodness to the world around you, then you can live a very happy life. When we are working towards selfishness all the time, then the load on us, the importance that we place on ourselves is very heavy. And when we do for others, others also will do for us. So that is the Deva Bhava. Parasparam Bhavayantaha. I serve others, others naturally they serve me. Because everybody else, when they start thinking like this, then there will be beauty around the earth. Everybody will start helping each other, and that is the happiest way to live. So that is Karma Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is loving that Ishvara unconditionally, without any expectation of any particular favors or any complaints or seeking any petition to remove something from our life. This is not good, that is not good, please take it away. Without all that, just giving love to Ishvara. And the third is Jnana Yoga, distinguishing between who am I, the seer, and what is not I, the seen. The seer alone is a reality, and the seen is temporary, and it is also inert. It does not have any energy or potential of its own. It is all empowered only by the seer. Dvandvam manomaya abhasam. Whatever duality I experience, it is experienced in the mind only. Paratma tasya bhasakaha. The Supreme Self is the enlivener, is the one who casts its light of awareness on all the dualities in the mind. This is the last verse. Satyatma sarvada mukto dvandvatito virajate sohamasmiti jnanena nirdvandvascha sukhi bhavet. This is a final and concluding verse. The person who is free from dualities, how will that person be? Satya Atma, Sarvada Muktaha. When I realize that I am the true self, I am always free. Dvandvatitaha virajate. I am free. And free means free from what? Free from dualities and free from being oppressed by the dualities. Free from being suppressed by the dualities. Free from being agitated by the dualities. Free from being suffering from the dualities. That is Satya Atma, that individual who has realized the self, who has realized that he is the power that is enlivening this whole universe. That is I. Saha Aham. That power, that supreme is I. Asmi iti jnanena. With that knowledge, Nirdvandvascha, I become free of all dualities because I alone am. Whatever, everything that we see, everybody, every great saint has spoken this. It is not the song of the ego. The ego is something that is caught inside the body and the mind. It is not the song of the ego, it is a song of the self. Soham asmi iti jnanena. I am that supreme. With that knowledge, nirdvandvascha sukhi bhaved. Be free of dualities and be free, happy. So with this, we are ending this 3 days, which are actually 3 Sundays, which we have missed. The 3 days or the 3 weeks talks on Nirdvandva Sukham on this very special day of January 1 of 2024. We have got the guidelines from Pujya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda ji, about how to live our life. In Karma Yoga, through Karma Yoga, we will be free of the dualities that concern our sense perceptions. With Bhakti Yoga, we will be free of dualities of the mind. With Jnana Yoga, we will be free of the dualities of the of the intellect. And with this, when we are free of dualities, we will experience bliss. Whatever the situation may be, we will find ourselves in a blissful space where we take care of ourselves and we are taking care of the people around us also, and taking care of the country and taking care of the nation. The nation requires such people who can be very attentive to who they are really, and because they are attentive to who they know how to live life, and they know what to do in this world as long as they are alive and moving about. So this is what is very much required for this year. Maybe take this year as a sankalpa for self-realization, working towards self-realization, following the path of achieving joy through being free of dualities. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसोर्मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हर नमः पार्वती पतये. हर हर महादेव. हरि ओम.